Manchester United have just sacked Reuben Amorim. Well, I say just sacked. It was about, I don't know, 8 hours ago now. I was in work. I decided to actually go to the office today rather than staying at home. I could have had it out by like 1:30, this video, but instead it's coming out at about, I don't know, like maybe 6. Yeah, fantastic. He got sacked after his comments yesterday. I think that was probably the final straw that, broke the camel's back. In fact, actually, I need to change this background because I still have the Leeds one on. Oh, I think this one's a really nice background. Right, we'll go with that. I literally have nothing else. You can actually see on the screen what I have. Like, I literally have nothing else. Oh, jeez, I'm not even fucking centered. Good God. Wow, I'm all over the place. Darren Fletcher has taken over as interim. So he was with I believe he was with the under-18s. Don't quote me on that. Might be wrong. Well, he's now currently interim manager until a new manager takes over, and it will most likely be until the end of the season. I think they're going to do what they've done with Ollie, where they'll wait until close to the end of the season before they decide who's actually taking over. In fact, I don't even know if there's any information for us here. Let me just do a quick search. Well, I'm looking here, and it says that Amorim's emotional and inconsistent behaviour was a key factor in the decision and refusal to adapt and evolve his preferred 3-4-3 system led to a breakdown in confidence in the head coach. That is from Sky Sports News. Yesterday he did say that he was the manager. He came to Manchester United to be the manager, not the coach, but I'm pretty sure he was hired as head coach. So, was that a language breakdown there, or is it just his fucking ego? Who knows? It also feels like Ineos are very... let's see, they have a fragile ego themselves. They tend to lash out a lot when they're criticised, which isn't great. But I think they have actually done the right thing here. Although I do think they need to fuck off as well. They gave him far too long. 14 months in charge is far too long. Good God. So it says, this is also Sky Sports. Amorim had a scheduled meeting with director Jason Wilcox on Friday, where the team's tactical approach was discussed in detail. And saying that the United bosses felt Amorim's response at the meeting was very negative and emotional. This guy's been trying to get sacked for months. I really do think his comments in the past few months have been fucking shocking. I do think he was trying to push for that sacking. The job's too big for him. He's not a Division 1 manager, he's Division 2. And it was a meeting with Wilcox and Barada that led to Amorim's sacking. That was on Monday, so I did hear a report. Now this is coming from Stephen Housen, who has his own source on this. Maybe he says it in the video, but he was saying this was planned the night before, and they waited until today to say it. So it was done yesterday. They waited until today. I have no idea, but I haven't seen anything like that. I am trying to do research as we're going along here. I'm quite happy that he's sacked because, well, one, typically I'd be pretty upset about a player being sacked or a manager or someone losing their job. But when you're going to get £1 million plus, like that, well, I say million, I mean millions of pounds as part of a payout, I don't feel too bad anymore. In fact, we're actually doing this guy a favour. His bank account's going to be fatter by it, unless they just pay him monthly. Well, the downturn in form, well, I say downturn in form, there wasn't actually a fucking uptick in form at all. Maybe the 3-game win streak from October, but that was it. You can't blame Mbeumo, Mazraoui and Ahmad going to AFCON as the reason why we were so bad, because we were shit before that as well. This manager had never been good at this club. He's been fucking shocking. I did say I didn't want them, but of course I wasn't making videos back then. It's kind of hard to prove I'm right. But at least now I'm making videos, so I might actually be able to tell. Fletcher taking charge. I don't know. I don't know what to expect here with Fletcher. I do think he plays 4-2-3-1, I believe, in the academy. So if we go to that, I can see us doing better. I see us not drawn to Leeds or Wolves. I see us beating both of them, which we should. We've definitely played better when we've played 4-2-3-1. I think Fletcher's going to be okay, but I don't think he'll get the job. I'm not even sure if we'll get Champions League football still. This is from Up to Joe. Reuben Amorim had the worst win ratio, 32%, and worst goals conceded per game ratio, 1.53, and lowest clean sheet ratio, 15%, of any Manchester United manager. and then it says coach. I think that's just a dig at him. But he's been fucking shit. 58 points, 15 wins in the Premier League since Amorim was appointed. That's just Premier League. Good God, it's fucking shocking. That's lower than what you'd expect in a fucking season. In terms of points. That is terrible. He only won 24 of 63 games. Which is 38.1%. Fucking hell. On Football Manager, I've got something like fucking 70. I'm not any good. FIFA's different though. The FIFA's too easy. But Ralph Ragnick got 37.9, but he wasn't brought in as a manager. He was what, like what's the word I'm looking for? Not associate, not referral. It was something else. He was brought in like a different role. He was brought in as a different role, but not manager anyway. So I'm not really too mad about Ralph Ragnick. When people were asking for Ralph to be sacked, I was like, no, he should have just been kept on the board or behind the scenes. This fucker only averaged 1.23. I mean, he averaged 1.23 points a game, but he's too defensive. He's too safe. He doesn't have any risk. You have to take a risk. Well, if you want to get anywhere in life, you have to take risk. But the problem with risk is that it can also backfire on you. It's backfired on me a lot of times, but it's also given me a good few moments in my life where I've succeeded. And it's really, you have to know when to do it and when to not. Be, throw a bit of risk, get a bit brave. So Amorim lost a third of his matches overall. So that's all competitions. And it's the worst since the 70s. Fucking hell. Good God, that is bad. I wonder if Rashford's going to come back. Because he's on loan, isn't he? Sancho's also on loan, but I think Sancho's gone. I think Sancho's time is done regardless. I think that would be a board decision to get rid of him. Rashford, I think, might actually have a way back. Now, do I want them back? It depends which version we get. If it's the version that left, no. The version that we had when Ten Hag was first here, absolutely. But it's about the attitude as well. Garnacho actually liked the Reuben Amorim second tweet, which I find kind of funny, but this guy, I didn't want him to go, but I think with Garnacho, you needed to teach discipline a lot more. I'm pretty sure Anthony's been bought, hasn't he? Or is he on loan with an option to buy? No, he's gone. Højlund. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm just looking through a Daily Mirror post. Was like saying like players that Amorim fell out with. Højlund might be an interesting one. Now, do I think Højlund's good enough? No, but as a backup to come off the bench, it's an option. Kobbie Mainoo has to stay. Please, whoever's at the club now, meet with Kobbie Mainoo and say, please stay. We've gotten rid of that clown. Please stay. Because he is fantastic, Mainoo. He's different. Right, just going to move on. And I'm going to look at an article from the BBC which says who could be the next permanent Man United manager. I'm just going to go through the list that they have and just see like what do I think. So obviously they're going to say Fletcher, who's the interim, who was the under-18s coach. I was right with that. I don't think he'll get it. And do I really want him to get it? No, I'd be happier with Fletcher staying with the under-18s because as far as I'm aware, the under-18s are actually doing quite well. Leave him there. Send him back to the under-18s when this is done and say, you're doing a good job here, we'll keep you here. Your job's safe, essentially. Because that's, obviously he wants to go forward in his career and all that, but at least tell him that his job's safe with the under-18s. Happy enough for him to stay there. So no, I don't want him as the actual manager. I was actually thinking this. They mentioned Michael Carrick. Now, I do think that would be interesting, but I feel like he's more of a mid-table manager, not a European one. But I do think he will be solid as mid-table, but we're not a mid-table club. Or, well, we are now thanks to Amorim and Ten Hag, but we're not supposed to be. So, no, I don't want Kieran McKenna as well. He's at Ipswich. No, but the same as Carrick. I don't want him. I still think he's a good manager, mid-table. But we're not a mid-table club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I fucked up that name, sorry. Absolutely. Yeah, I would have taken him back as the interim. Because I didn't want Fletcher to leave the under-18s. Because at least with Ollie, you know what you're going to get. And you know what happened last time. So learn from that. Yeah, sure, take him on. But don't give him the full job. But of course, Fletcher has it at the moment. So there's no point going on. I think that Solskjaer route was down. But I would have happily taken him back. Then there's another person here. It's one that would slip my mind. It's not in the article. Right, I can't remember who I was trying to say there, but to say Mauricio Pochettino, no, this has been linked so much. No, I don't want Pochettino. I don't think it'd be any good. Xavi would be interesting, I think, because obviously with Barcelona he rebuilt them using La Masia and done quite well with his youth. The one thing I'd say is I think Barcelona's academy is far better than United's, and two, if Xavi was coming in, I think he'd take a few months to implement what style of play and his systems and all that he wants. I'm not sure if I'm ready to give another manager time, like that long to get stuff going. And I don't mean like, time to get fucking 2 wins on a trot. Like I expect them to get that relatively quickly. Now win the trophies and all that's another story. I wouldn't mind Xavi coming in, and I would be willing to give Xavi time if he was doing a youth-focused process. Let's say I'm using buzzwords here, but if he was developing the academy players, bringing them through into the first team, giving them decent amount of minutes and all that, I'd be more accepting. I think a lot of fans would be more accepting to some downturn results. I think that's very good. Luis Enrique, you're not getting him out of PSG. Don't even bother. He would be fantastic, but don't bother. There's no point. Zinedine Zidane, again, I wouldn't bother. I don't think he gives a fuck about managing. Yeah, and also he wouldn't come to United. Wouldn't bother. Roberto De Zerbi, I've heard a few people that are actually liking him, but just off the top of my head, nah, not interested. He might be alright for a little bit, but he typically leaves very quickly in jobs. Southgate, don't even get me started. This guy's a clown. He's just another Ten Hag, just even worse. Enzo Maresca has actually been linked. What the fuck? Wow, okay. Would be interesting. That would be very interesting. But no. I wouldn't be mad. But I just think he'd get sacked in about 2 years. If even. Maybe 18 months. But I do think he'd probably win us a trophy. What trophy? Probably a fucking FA Cup or whatever. Unai Emery. You're not getting him out of Aston Villa. He'd be fantastic. He's absolutely brilliant. Arsenal were clowns letting him go. But you're not gonna get rid of Emery from Villa. Oliver Glasner. He does like his 3-4-3, but I'm sick of 3 at the back, or well, Amorim's 5 at the back and 9 at the back at times. I don't want anything to do with 3 at the back anymore, or 5. Fuck off. No. Eddie Howe. No, Newcastle are falling apart, so no. Iriola, might be interesting, but I don't know. I'm not really sure if he has enough in him to get over the line. I'm going to throw one out there. And it's absolutely mad and it's never going to happen. But Xavi Alonso. He might get sacked at fucking Real Madrid. And I'm sure Liverpool are looking to sack slots, so he might go there to Liverpool. But I'd take Xavi Alonso. I think it would be quite interesting. Now, are the players as good at United as they are at Madrid? Fuck no. So he'd do worse, but I'd be happy enough taking him. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Because I feel like this video has kind of just got a bit all over the place. So we're gonna stop there. But otherwise, I'm delighted this clown's been sacked finally. All my videos on my channel are me talking about how he should be sacked. So about fucking time. Delighted. All right. I will have my match reaction to Darren Fletcher's first game against Burnley on Wednesday. We'll be up at 10:30, 11 at night, maybe. Hopefully. Anyway, see you then.